So I couldn't be more excited for this week's video. I got to interview Uncle Scott from Uncle Scott's Kitchen. So for those of you that don't know who Uncle Scott is, he has a very popular YouTube channel in this space of cookware, talking about iron and carbon steel and copper and phenomenal high quality cookware and really good food and good cooking. And he is a major advocate for using forever cookware. And so I've got a ton of respect for him. I've been following his channel for years, and I was really excited when we got together to do this year-end collaboration of talking about what was 2023 and what's coming in 2024 for both of our channels, but specifically, for what he's doing. But we're swimming in the same river, going in the same direction. So it's really exciting to talk to him from his perspective of where he's coming at. And so without any further ado, here is Uncle Scott from Uncle Scott's Kitchen. Okay, Uncle Scott, it's fantastic to see you. Excited that you're on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I'm a huge fan, so thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Jed, and great to talk to you today.
Awesome. So today we're going over the year that 2023 was and the fun things that you're getting up to in 2024. What can we, as the fans of Uncle Scott's podcast or Pencast, and your YouTube channel, what can we expect to see? So what was 2023? When you look back and reflect on the year, what were the things that really stood out to you and what happened on the channel?
Well, around my channel, let's see, I broke 40,000 subscribers, so that was pretty good. And we just reviewed a lot of carbon steel skillets, a lot of DeBouyers and Mapfers and the Moviels and Lodges. I think I've almost reviewed all of their carbon steel products. So 2024, I might be branching out into a little bit more of the more niche type carbon steel products, and just more reviews, more bad dad jokes, and just having fun. And really, I'm always learning too. So there's a zillion recipes out there and a zillion pieces of cookware. So hopefully I'll be learning, and maybe the audience can kind of learn along with me. So that's what's going on around my channel.
That's awesome. Well, if there's one thing that I can ask for is more dad jokes. I love them.
They will be coming. Don't worry. No shortage there.
Yeah, I try hard to try to kind of infuse some humor sometimes, and I don't land them like you do. So good on you.
Well, thank you very much. Oh, Lordy.
All right. So, what were your favorite additions? If you could grab, some pieces of cookware even, like what were the favorite things that you got to put your hands on this year?
That DeBouyer, they came out with the Mineral B Pro omelet pan. So that was a big deal.
Yes.
I really did like that one. Let's see, and then I'm kind of the home consumer. I know you've got the actual retail stores, but I'm kind of the home consumer. I'm always hunting around for bargains, and during Black Friday, I found some bargains on some stove enamel cast iron Dutch ovens, and also some Le Creuset. So we're doing some coverage on that, and then I also have kind of ventured into some of the tin line copper. So I got some K pieces. And
so tell me, can we stop right on that one for me, please? Tell me about that. What do you think? Give me a quick synopsis of that. I know people can go back and watch your video on that, but what was your takeaway from the tin line copper?
So far, this is my first tin line copper, and I'm a big chicken, and what I've come to realize, I haven't done it yet, but if you mess up and get it too hot, you can kind of damage the tin. So the old carbon steels are pretty much indestructible. The tin line copper, I'm really kind of, there's a learning curve there, and that's where I'm at. I'm learning to cook in it. I've not cooked in it enough to do a full review, but it's awesome so far, and just really beautiful, big, well-made pieces so far. So.
Awesome. Yeah, because it's interesting. So in the history of copper, tin was where things originally started. So when copper was made hundreds of years ago, it was pulled out of the ground, and they were able to melt tin and put it and make whatever vessels, and it was superior, especially to iron at the time. And then as the modern day came along and mechanization started happening, they realized that they could bond metals, and they started bonding stainless steel to copper, and that became the superior choice. So what you would find at a French restaurant, like a restaurant supply, is you have serviceware that is tin line copper, and you have cookware that is stainless steel copper. And so as I grew up in the industry, you would only sell somebody stainless steel copper to be used at home. And if you ever sold a piece of much thinner copper with tin, it's to put something in it and service because it looks beautiful and it's, old and ornate and blah, blah, blah. And so the new modern trend that's coming is confusing me. I'm really interested in what you're using because in my innards, the way in which I have always been taught and know is that you wouldn't sell a customer to use extensively a piece of tinned copper to use for many things, because like acidity and all that kind of stuff can be a problem, tearing it away and softening it, and you have to retin it. And we actually do retinning. I have a blacksmith that I send things to, and he retins for our customers, which is great. So I'm in it. I understand it. But longevity is stainless steel. But I understand the new makers, and more of them are coming. I know I was talking to Copper State Forge the other day about that. They want to look at doing copper, but the only way that they can do that is with tinning, because they don't have the mechanisms to be able to bond metals, which is a massive deal with a massive amount of pressure. And so it's interesting where this is going. I'm interested to see where the makers are going of selling this really quite high-end and pricey copper that I don't know. I'm not convinced if it's really as functional as it could be for the dollars. What do you think?
I kind of came to it through, I just try and learn more cooking skills. And, you see all the fancy chefs on TV were using copper. So I kind of got started with it. I bought a set of Moviels, and it was the 250 series, and it was a little bit thicker. I think they've
good on you.
Made their pans a little bit. The 250s are great. And I think they've gone down to 1.5 or 2 now. And that was stainless steel.
Yeah, they limited the line to the 250. They brought the 250 down, and they have more than 1.6 because it was cost. They just stopped selling as much because it was so pricey.
Yeah, and also the same thing with, I've got a Dubuyer Eno Cuivre piece, and I like that one. And then I've got some of the Falks, I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it. And
this is one of those. This is one of the induction ready copper from Dubuyer.
Oh, I need to get one of those. Okay, that'll be coming in 2024. Then put that on the list.
for nearly $900 Canadian retail.
Yeah, exactly. Holy cow! It's very expensive. I guess that's the one. I mean, not only is the tin lined, can you mess it up, but it's also there's a cost hurdle there too.
Yeah.
But, so I moved through that, and then I got some Falks, and I like the Falks. They're really heavy, and I tried.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have it right behind me. But they had that little try me deal, so it was like 150 something bucks for one of their smaller pans. And that actually turned out to be one of our most used pans in the kitchen, believe it or not. I didn't think it would be, but it turned out to be that way because I have a 5-year-old son, and if we fix him cream of wheat or oatmeal or what have you, we end up using that pan 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So it's really good quality there. But I felt like I kind of maxed out some of the stainless steel line stuff, and I really wanted to kind of move up and learn some of the tin line stuff. So we will see how that goes. The jury's still out, at least as far as my cooking skills. So I think the pans, my cooking skills are here, and the tin line coppers are up here, and hopefully my cooking skills will increase. So always looking to do that, learn a little bit more.
I think your cooking skills are pretty good, Scott. I think you're undervaluing yourself. You do a great job.
Oh, who knows? The crazy thing about YouTube is you can watch Julia Child and Jacques Pepin. Why watch me cook something? So I kind of come at it from a different angle, kind of the dad learning the cookware and improving rather than here's a Michelin-starred French chef and here's what they do. So who knows? Hopefully it'll work.
Well, that's just entertainment. Yeah. That's really just entertainment. What you're doing is for the people. I'm there with you. I appreciate what you're doing.
You're too kind, but thank you very much. So, all right.
Yeah. All right. So what else does 2024 have in stall for the Uncle Scott's YouTube channel?
Usually, I kind of do 2 types of videos. I kind of do like in-depth features and reviews on specific products. And then I kind of do that pancast, where the pancast is a little more topical and lots of short community-based stuff. But in there, we kind of talk about some of the, I guess you'd say, controversial issues. We don't really get into politics so much, but we get into if there's something that affects the kitchen or food, and sometimes it's, it's the lab-grown meat, or, sometimes the induction versus gas, people want to ban gas stoves, or it's insect protein or what have you there. So there's always a little bit of controversy, and at least it keeps things a little bit interesting to at least talk about that, I would say.
Yeah. So well, I think there's maybe some topics there that we could get back onto a call and discuss on the channel here. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. I think so. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think we both have our surfaces of choice of what we're going to be cooking for our heat source, so it'd be fun to get into that maybe a little bit.
Definitely. The induction versus gas. That was, as far as controversial topics, that was about as controversial as we got last year. And I'm sure it will continue for the foreseeable future.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
And crazy thing there, I don't have any problem with induction. It's just that the fact that, I love carbon steel cookware, and a lot of times just induction and carbon steel just don't play well together. So I have a lot of people writing me and telling me that. So that's the main sticking point there.
Yeah, I tried, maybe it was last year. I don't think it was earlier this year, but it was, I've got it in the archives where I did a several video kind of deep dive on trying to figure that out a little bit. And definitely the culprit is the induction plate, the cheap induction plate.
Absolutely. And,
that definitely seems to be the culprit.
I've got one of the cheap induction plates, but the reason I got that plate was I had so many people with big induction ranges writing me and telling me, hey, this thing is warping my carbon steel. And so I got a smaller induction plate. So maybe another thing in 2024 for me is to get maybe, if my wife will let me, maybe a bigger induction range, at least for the basement kitchen, and do a little bit more official testing on the induction.
Breville makes the Control Freak, so maybe it's a Control Freak.
I did see that, but man, $1,500 for a burner. Phew. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, that's where you got to start taking some free stuff, Scott, and not have to pay for everything.
No free stuff for me, unfortunately. Nope.
All right. Well, I'll get one free for me, and I'll lend it to you. How about that?
Okay, that sounds okay.
Yeah. No, Breville are tremendous. They support the channel in anything I ever ask them. I reach out to them, and they just send me whatever I need. So they're fantastic.
Oh, that's nice.
They're a good supporter.
All right.
Nice. They're great. They understand how this all works.
Okay. Yep.
All right, so that's fantastic. Well, I'm super jacked on 2024. I think you've got some great wind in your sails, and I'm excited to see what you're doing. It's fun for me as a Canadian to see a little bit of an American viewpoint on things and what you guys are finding down there. It's a little bit different, not so much a culture, but a different market than up here in Canada. So I always find it fun and entertaining. So please keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, I sure do appreciate you having me on. All right.
So any last words of wisdoms for the viewers before we sign off?
I will give my one piece of carbon steel advice, and if you're into carbon steel skillets, is don't worry too much about your seasoning early on. Just season once and start cooking. And don't spend days and days and days working on your seasoning. Work on your cooking techniques. That's my...
Yeah, hallelujah. Yeah. And Scott and I differ a little bit on this one, and we haven't actually got into this in a video yet. But absolutely, if you've got traction, keep going forward. But for those of you that do find you're having problems, back up and figure out how you went off the rails, right? That's the only thing that I would interject into that little one there, is that some people just go fully off into left field and are having major problems, and you just got to figure out why. And a lot of time it's the wrong heat and the wrong type of oil.
Exactly. I had one guy, not to get too far into the weeds, but back early on, and the whole reason I have a YouTube channel is my wife got me this Mapfer skillet for Christmas several years ago, been 4 or 5 years ago, and I seemed to do everything that all the YouTube videos said to do, and I was still having problems. So I kind of resolved to figure it out, and then put up a video, and it kind of took off from there. But I had one guy write
Yeah.
me, and there used to be a method, and I'm sure it works if you do it 100% correctly, but they would season these new skillets like 6 times in the oven before you cooked anything in there. And for me, it's about a 3-hour process with the cool down and all that, and plus your house kind of smells. So this guy wrote me, he did 6 oven seasonings. So I figured that's maybe 18 hours, at least prep work in a skillet. Then he cooked 1 egg, and that first egg stuck. And so he thought, well, I did something wrong with my seasoning. So he scrubbed that thing down to bare metal and did another 6 rounds of seasoning, and he cooked 1 more egg. And that stuck. And he said, Scott, before I throw this pan in the trash, is there anything you can do to help me? And I said, you know what? Just try a little bit more heat, and your seasoning is probably perfect. And he wrote me back and said he almost cried tears of joy because the egg started sliding around. And so people, they kind of get led down this seasoning path, and it's unfortunate because carbon steel is great. But if you have to do 36 hours of prep work to get a pan to work, I mean, why wouldn't you throw it in the trash? So I try to get people up and cooking.
Yeah.
And then, after the first couple of weeks, it all kind of clicks, and then, they go on from there. And then kind of turn their pans into kind of work of art pans, is what I call them. But you can get up in cooking in less than an hour, generally, if you do it correctly.
No, definitely,
anyway,
definitely you can. So I think this topic, I think, is fantastic, and I think it's probably the most important thing in which you and I both talk about to our viewers. And maybe this is something that we should maybe in January get together and have an in-depth on this one and kind of strip this back, because what I come at it sometimes is when viewers, when people are when it's working, it just works. They just sail forward and there's no problem. They don't say anything. So I'm always trying to come at it where the problems are, right? And so when I suggest to do multiple layers, I'm trying to capture as many customers as I possibly can. So it kind of comes down to how the pan is used. If it's used a certain way, I find that there's success and it goes forward. People, either heat, that sort of thing, got to figure it out. But I find, and something that, as you know, on my channel, I promote, a lot of plant-based sort of cooking and how to cook, in a plant-forward sort of way that can be very fibrous and very drying to a pan. And so people that are moving in that direction, they can run into a lot of problems really quickly. And that's, I think that could be a funner, deeper kind of video conversation for us into the future.
And a lot of times people are moving from like a chemical coated nonstick to a carbon steel, but nobody tells them you got to learn different cooking techniques. So they try the exact same things and it doesn't work, and then they get frustrated, I think. So there's a learning curve with the carbon steel, but once you get people over that, then they generally really do like it. So. And for people that want to know, we're going to continue this conversation over on Uncle Scott's Kitchen. So if you want to see the second half of this conversation, go to Uncle Scott's Kitchen, and there will be a link, presumably somewhere around this video.
All right, at the bottom of this video. Yeah, I am. So for everybody watching, I'm interviewing Scott right now, and then we're going to have an interview where he's going to interview me, and that's going to be on Uncle Scott's channel. So if you want to watch that, I'm actually going to put this now as this video is ending. You can just click on the picture and you're going to go directly to this next video. So I hope you enjoy that one. And also Uncle Scott, you can find him quickly on YouTube. If you're down in the States, he has his own affiliate website. You can buy a bunch of the stuff that he talks about on his website, and all of those links will be in the bottom of this video.
All right, sweet.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Jed.
So a huge thank you to Uncle Scott for taking the time to be on the channel. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go over and check out the interview with me on his channel and watch a lot of what he's doing over there. He's doing fantastic things, looking at things that I'm not so much looking at. It's great. We're covering a large space, which is absolutely amazing. So thanks so much for watching. Any comments, any questions, please throw them below. Thanks so much.